A normal Minecraft world consists of millions of blocks. But instead of that, what if there was just one? One block that spawns a random new one when you mine it. Can me and my friend Darrell survive 100 days on this one block? Watch to the end to find out. So day 1 we spawned in on the one block and started mining it. From the block we got dirt, wood, and even chests sometimes. These chests contained things like saplings and more wood, and one of them had a water bucket in it. But then we carried on mining the block and expanding the island with the dirt that we got. Then, when mining the block, it upgraded into phase 1, the plains. In one block Skyblock, the infinite block goes through 10 phases and spawns blocks from a different biome in each phase, as well as some animals from that biome as well. We were then able to get some seeds from a chest, and then for most of day 1 we just got the basic setup, mined the block and expanded our island. After doing that for a while, we then entered into the underground phase, which gave us access to more new blocks. And then I had a close call where this spider nearly killed me, and a few minutes later this creeper spawned in. That's basically all that happened on day 1, and then on day 2 Darrell began working on a house, and I mined the block for pretty much the whole day. Day 3 we went into the next phase, which was the icy tundra. And then we basically did the same as day 2. Darrell kept building his house, which was looking a bit basic to be honest, and I did a lot of mining the block again. We did start to grow some of our crops though, and we also tamed a dog. And finally we made beds. On day 4 there was a monster party. Ooh, a party, that sounds fun. It wasn't fun. Not at all. The dog died. Then, for some safety, we made some iron armor and made this pen for this cow, which I could tell was going to be really safe. We needed protection because day 4 was going terribly. It wasn't all bad though. Darrell nearly got killed by a goat. Seriously, if we didn't build that pen, he'd be dead. They send you flying. Now that there was only one goat left on the island, we mined the block and entered the ocean phase, and Darrell finished his house. On day 5, the one block spawned a sponge which soaked up our only water. Then I expanded the island a bit and our first diamond spawned. But at this point we used up all our gold and iron, and we didn't have any pickaxes of those either. All we had was stone ones, so I don't know what this guy was doing, but a bit later another diamond spawned and we were able to actually get it this time. On day 6 we discovered that if you smelt a sponge with a bucket like this, then you actually get the water back. Then we used bottles of water to refill a cauldron, giving us more water and an infinite water source. We both just mined the block on day 7 because we wanted to move on to the next phase, which we did. And we also wanted to get more dirt, which we didn't. Oh, and I also got down to half a heart when these stray poisoned me. Luckily I was able to survive though, and Darrell took care of the stray. Day 8 we found another diamond, and Darrell said he was going to make a pond. We also decided to expand the island with wood instead of dirt, which we should have done from the start to be honest. And then on day 9 Darrell said our last pig fell off, and our last cow also died. We don't have any sheep either, and I don't think any more are going to spawn. Anyway, Darrell carried on building whatever this is, and I started building a storage house, which I didn't like, and started remaking on day 10. I wasn't recording on day 11, but I started farming cocoa beans, carried on building the storage house, and got a chicken from an egg. Day 12 I was recording, but I wish I wasn't, because now you have to look at this. I also finished the storage house and started moving the chests and all the items inside the building. The next day I continued moving and organising the chests. What is he doing? Day 14 was the same again, organising chests, and we also found these 2 diamonds, and shortly after we entered into the red desert phase. On day 15 a villager spawned and we blocked him in Darrell's house, and on day 16 I finally finished moving and organising the chests. And Darrell started getting the animals out of his pond, because for some strange reason he didn't like it. But then on day 17 my life flashed before my eyes. That was almost it for me. And I think seeing that brought Darrell back to reality, because he covered up the mess he made and decided to start again and make a new pond. He even asked me to help him, so we collected the sand from the old one and started removing the animals. The next day we got the other animals out, and then we moved the layer he made down by one, because we realised it was too high up. On day 19, Darrell showed me a chest that I didn't even know was there, so while he continued his pond, I moved all of that stuff to the storage house, and then I mined the block. We got our second villager, and then by the end of the day, Darrell had finished. He actually made a pond this time. On day 20, we got our turtles and fish into the pond, and we wanted to make a farm, but the one block wasn't giving us any dirt, and we didn't have any, so we started collecting the dirt that the island was made of and replacing it with wood. On day 21, a monster party spawned. I dealt with them, and I didn't realise at the time, but one of the husks dropped a carrot. And then on day 22, I realised I had the carrot, and we finished off replacing all the dirt on the island with wood. On day 23, we started making the farm. We split it into 2 sections. We also made a wheat farm in the first of the 2 sections. On day 24, we made the farm a bit nicer by adding some mangrove wood around the outside. And then in the other section, we planted carrots and melons. We spent day 25 getting bamboo and figuring out how to grow mangrove trees. And on day 26, I just mined the block for the whole day. But on day 27, the block upgraded into the nether phase. And we made a diamond pickaxe and got our first obsidian from it. Day 28, we spent not really doing much, but talking about the villager trading hall that we were about to make. And on day 29, we made the block pallet for it, and then we started making it. On day 30, I started making the floor of the villager house while Darrell worked on the walls. Darrell said that he had a lot of good ideas for the house, so we decided that after I finished the floor, I'd just gather the materials for him and he'd build the house. So do you want to know how long it took? From this day 30, to day 43, Darrell spent building this house. All while I either chopped wood or mined the block. The only interesting days were day 37 when I got some ancient debris and some more obsidian, and day 38 when ghasts spawned. And they caused a big fire, which took ages to put out, and it took even longer to repair the damage it caused. But it's been 13 days, he must have at least finished the house, right? No. Day 44, we got the last pieces of obsidian that we needed for a nether portal, and in the evening we built it. Day 45, we were gonna light it, but Darrell already used all our iron on rails for moving the villagers, because of course he did. So we started mining the block in hopes of getting iron, but we had no luck. Didn't get any on day 46 either, and then on day 47, after getting a wither skull and entering the next phase, we finally got iron. So we made the flint and steel and lit the nether portal. And we went through. But then quickly went back. We decided that it was time to get a move on with the house, because it's taken us, well Darrell, ages to build it. So Darrell kept building, and the next day he sent me to the nether to go get blackstone for the roof. So after bridging to land and mining down, I eventually found some blackstone. And then I just mined it until my pickaxe broke, and I returned on day 51. Then, starting day 52, I began building a mob farm, and I'll explain why while I build it. So, we want to breed more villagers for the villager hall that we're making. But for that we need beds, and for beds we need wool. Wool which we don't have because we don't have any sheep. So we're going to make a mob farm, and amongst other useful items we'll get string, which we can craft into wool, giving us beds. So, from day 52 to day 70, Darrell built the villager house and I built the mob farm. And the reason it took so long is because after building it, I realised that the spiders just don't fall down. So after trying a bunch of different things, nothing worked. And I ended up just going to the top and killing the spiders on day 70. Then I made wool and then beds with the string I had to start breeding the villagers. And on day 71, we decided to make an iron farm now that we can breed villagers. So we started collecting the resources for it, and the next day I finished gathering the resources and started making the farm. I managed to build most of the iron farm on this day, getting the beds in and everything like that. And if you're wondering what Darrell's been doing, well, doesn't look like much. So on day 73 I got him to help me with getting the villagers in the farm. And by the end of the day we had them all in there. On day 74 a zombie spawned under the flying boat that Darrell was making, which was perfect because we need one to put in the iron farm. On day 75 Darrell finished his boat, and then on day 76 and 77 we fished for name tags, but we had no luck. When it was night I actually got a zombie in the farm and it started working. Hopefully the zombie doesn't despawn for now. On day 78 Darrell finished this nether portal, which is pretty cool, and by day 79 we had enough iron from the farm to make an anvil. Now we just need a name tag. So on day 80 we went to the nether to search for a bastion that might have one, and luckily there was one really close to our portal, so we bridged over to it and there were a lot of mobs, but after taking them all out we began looking for a name tag, and after a long while of searching we found it. Now we just have to get back.
There's so many mobs on the other side of the bridge. Wait, take that? Because I don't want to lose that.
What? Why don't I fight with you?
Because we don't want to lose the name tag.
Alright, go. Be careful.
Oh, oh no. Oh, no, no.
I got back on day 83, and first things first I used the name tag on the zombie, and then I made a grave for Darrell. Oh, we should have just kept fishing. And then on day 84, and then I just spent the rest of the day farming wheat. On day 85, I forgot to record, and my notes just say I have no idea. I wasn't recording for most of day 86 either, but I basically spent the day getting villagers into the breeding hall, and then at the end they all escaped and just ran back to the breeder, so I basically did nothing anyway. I spent day 87 getting villagers into the hall, then getting them into their own chambers, and giving them workstations. I'm getting these villagers so that I can get some decent diamond armor and tools to fight the dragon with. But first I needed to turn some villagers into Fletchers, so that I could trade them sticks to get emeralds. Day 88 I started by using a smithing table to get a toolsmith and a grindstone to get a weaponsmith. And I also used a blast furnace to get an armorer. Then I started trading sticks with the Fletchers, and then trading with the other villagers to level them up. Once they're leveled up I should be able to trade for some good diamond armor and tools. Day 89 I repeated this process for the whole day, mining trees for sticks when I ran out. And day 90 I got another weaponsmith into the hall. Then on day 91 I also got another toolsmith and another armorer. By this point my first weaponsmith was trading diamond axes, so I bought one to speed up the process of getting sticks. And day 92 I continued the process of leveling up the villagers. I did the same on day 93 and traded for a better axe with efficiency 2. On day 94 I maxed out all the villagers and started trading for some good armor. I got protection 2 unbreaking 2 leggings, prot 1 boots and a prot 2 helmet. The chestplate trades on both armorers had pretty dead enchantments, so on day 95 I got another armorer and leveled him up. And when he was max level he traded me a prot 3 unbreaking 3 chestplate and these crazy boots that I also got. And on day 96 I got another pair of prot 1 boots, and then combined them with the other boots that I had to get prot 2. And then I combined those with the crazy boots to get prot 3 on them. I also bought some diamond tools and a diamond sword. Day 97 I traded and combined some different bows to get this decent one, and then I started mining the block. And I got a name tag which is just insulting. I kept mining through day 98 and the block spawned some evokers that I killed for their totems. Then the warden spawned and I was trying to get it to fall down from underneath, but an iron golem started attacking it. I was fine doing this from underneath since there was water from Darrell's failed pond earlier, and then the warden hit me and I lost most of my health, so I dropped into the water. But I just stayed low and let the iron golem attack it. And I stopped hearing its noises, so I went up and it was gone. On day 99, I was still mining the block. I got a mace, which I probably won't use, but then finally, the portal spawned in, and on day 100, it was time to fight the dragon. I cooked up some more food and then I hopped in the portal. I went around shooting each crystal one by one, and once they were gone, I started shooting the dragon, but then I ran out of arrows. So I just waited for it to perch and hit it with my sword when it did. Then I just repeated this and bullied the enderman while I waited. And eventually I took down the dragon. I got the dragon egg and went home. I placed it on the end of Darrell's boat, and sadly he didn't make it, but I had survived 100 days of hardcore 1 block Skyblock.